Speaking of wacky songs, I'm not sure you can get much wackier than this next one. This is a very interesting track for those of you who've heard it. If you haven't heard it, just do it. This is track 8, The Last Duet, featuring Lily Tomlin as a guest vocalist. This was written by like the dream team at the time. This was Barry Manilow, Bruce Sussman, and Jack Feldman. This is such a departure from everything Manilow has done up to this point. I would consider this borderline a comedy routine. Barry, what are your thoughts on this very unique duet?
Yes, unique is a great word to describe it because, again, this is a part where I was talking at the very beginning of this episode about taking a left turn. This is probably one of the biggest left turns where your expectations of what you think is going to happen does not happen. Because I think, let's start with the title, The Last Duet. The irony here is that this was Barry Manilow's first commercially released duet. There was an absolute explosion of duets being recorded. They were so popular, and they would run up to the top of the charts, and they would stay there for weeks and weeks and weeks. From, You Don't Bring Me Flowers by Neil Diamond and Barbra Streisand, No More Tears, Enough Is Enough by Donna Summer and Barbra Streisand. Barbra Streisand was actually the queen of duets. She did a lot of duets in the day, but there's also Don't Go Breaking My Heart by Elton John and Kiki D, You're the One That I Want, and all these titles I just named, they are somehow referenced in this song. So this is a little bit of a parody of those duets by taking what would be a romantic love song and basically turning it into a hilarious breakup song. And so they're taking the whole form of the duet and inverting it on its head, but musically everything that's going on underneath it, this orchestration, is just absolutely hot. And to me, that's what makes it so funny, is that the music and even the performance is delivered deadpan and serious. That's what makes it so funny, because it's done so seriously. And yeah, this track, the more I listen to it, and I've since gone on and played this for friends and other people, and they are just as fascinated by it, because there's nothing like this. Nobody dared to really make a commentary. And I could only imagine, and I'm curious to know what kind of pressure Manilow was under to deliver a commercial duet smash. And we know for a fact, and this is something we know to be true, that there were attempts at duets in the past. When they were making the This One's For You album, they decided to attempt a medley of My Girl, the Motown cover of Motown song, into No One in This World, which was an original song by Manilow, to sing it with Melissa Manchester. That was recorded. And also we know that on the Dionne Warwick album that Barry Manilow had previously produced, but right before this album came out, that Dionne and Barry recorded a duet. They took a song that had come from the Lady Flash album called Never Gonna Let You Get Away. They recorded it as a duet, and it was not released on the album. So it's not for lack of trying. There were attempts, and for whatever reason, it just never was released. And like I said, I think perhaps there was a lot of pressure and then a lot of expectations as to which artist would sing that duet with him. But to make it Lily Tomlin and to do this, I think was just brilliant, to send everybody's expectations out the window. And again, this is why I think we respect Manilow as an artist, because he will play with the expectations that you have and won't deliver what you think he's going to deliver, and he's going to deliver something completely different.
I think it would be interesting to find out. This was written by, the Copacabana team, Manilow, Sussman, Feldman. Which one of them had the original idea to do this? Like you said, kind of the parody of the top hit duets of the recent years at the time. Which one of them approached the others and was like, guys, I have an idea, hear me out? I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall for that conversation, because if it was Manilow, that would be hilarious, but if it was one of the writers bringing that to him, I would have also loved to hear that. So that's probably the biggest thing I would want to know about this song. Who originally had the idea? to sort of take the concept of the commercial duet hit and just flip it on its head? I would be really interested to know that.
I think that was probably Manilow, because I know in the way he's spoken about his writing with his collaborators, a lot of times he comes to them and gives them some ideas for songs or what he wants to sing about. So something tells me that he sat down with Bruce and Jack and told them what he wanted to write.